Here in the modular shed I have two lead acid batteries, gel batteries, 17 amp hours each. They're probably only about half that now because they're very old, and they just weren't coping very well with the lighting demand. So up on my lighting panel, this is the light I use mainly, and it is 5 of these LED strip lights. Now that takes a fair bit of current. In fact, as you can see there, it's about 2.5 amps. And the problem is I was having difficulty getting a sort of full 3 or 4 hour session here in the workshop, the modular shed, before these things were going down to 10 volts, 9 point something, really quite alarmingly low voltage. Now these are charged through this relatively thin wire, this stuff, which I'll go and get, so we'll have a look at the spec of that. Yes, it's this stuff. It's twin strand bell wire. I bought this 100-meter reel. It's not very thick, but I've seen 3 or 4 amps go through it, so it is capable of that. But with that running all the way down to the power wall, I'll show you the power wall. So this is the workshop, the modular shed. That solar panel is the higher voltage, higher wattage solar panel. That's not the power wall. The power wall is down here. It's these 3 solar panels and 3 massive Trojan lead acid batteries, and each solar panel will eventually have a charge controller. Only 2 of them have got that at the moment. This one's not in a box, and that one doesn't have anything at all. In fact, I don't think that solar panel's even connected. So it's a case of getting the current from these big Trojan batteries. Here they are. They're that model, J185HAC. I think it's 185 amp hours. So they're big, and of course the advantage with lead acid is that you can just leave it outdoors. It's perfectly happy out in the open. So I've changed the cable that runs up to the workshop, and it's this much thicker twin and earth, which I think has is it 2.5mm square copper cross-sectional area. It's big. I'll show you the other end of it, and the other end of it is up on the side of the workshop. Here it is. It's a temporary lash up, but there's the fat copper cables. They're pretty thick, and so now my thin cable just simply runs through a hole there into the workshop and into these batteries, and they are capable now of supplying power to the lights. In fact, I've got 2 lots of lights on now. Yeah, 4 amps. Let's put all the lights on. That's, oh, not that much more current, 3.8 amps, and these now hold, and they will pull quite large currents. I've seen this up at nearly 3 amps, but of course it won't be today because the Trojans are at a voltage not much higher than this, so we're not going to get a high current. But when the Trojans are up at 13.5, and that would only be on a sunny day, which today isn't, then yes, you can get quite a substantial current through that wire. Like I say, it comes through that hole in the siding, and I can have a full 3 or 4 hour session here in the workshop, and those batteries can handle that. So that has solved the problem, but yes, it has meant I've had to use thick copper wire close to the shed. This little short section kind of works as a resistive element, and it also, I suppose, potentially acts as a fuse. So that's fixed it. I can have 3 or 4 hours here in the workshop with all these lights on. It's very bright, easy to see what you're doing from these 2 lead acid gel batteries without them sagging to ridiculously low voltages.